Hi guys, this is Engineer HLDC, and for this video, we will try to solve this problem. So sabi dito guys, beam AC and BD jointly carry a uniformly distributed load W in kilonewton per meter. Beam AC is simply supported and beam BD is on fixed support at D. So use EI, or we call it the flexural rigidity, to be 6.4 times 10 raised to 12 Newton millimeter squared. So ang mga tinatanong guys ay, if W is 3 kN per meter, determine the upward force to be applied at point B to prevent deflection at end B of the beam BD. Next is determine the load tributary to beam AC at B if both beams AC and BD deflects together by 10 mm at B. And lastly, determine the load W if the deflection at point B is 12 mm. So we are already provided with a figure, no? So ito yung beam AC na simple supports daw po siya sa A and C, while itong BD naman is para po siyang cantilever beam, no, na fix ang support at D. Yung nga lang medyo nakapatong siya dito sa beam AC. Alright, so para masagot natin itong mga ganitong problem na hindi imposibleng lumabas sa board exam, ay gagamitan natin ito ng knowledge natin sa theory of structures. So simulan na natin guys. So the best way to analyze this is, ang gawin muna natin guys is paghiwalayin muna natin yung dalawang beam. Okay, so ayan, draw natin yung free body diagram, okay, for each beam. So let us first draw yung simple beam ABC. Alright, something like that. And let us draw yung cantilever beam BD. Okay, so next is i-drawing naman natin class yung mga loads and forces acting on each beam. So simulan natin dun sa beam sa itaas, no, yung beam BD. So as you can see, so it is acted upon by a uniformly distributed load, W. Alright? So, next. So, as you can see, dito sa B, so since mayroong point of contact between the beam AC and beam BD, so syempre yung interaction between the two beams, magkakaroon ng force po dito. So, since pinaghiwalay po natin siya, so may expose po yung force po na yon. So, ano po ba yung mangyayari dito guys? So, basically, kung originally ay cantilever beam lang siya, so what will happen is babagsak si point B, malalaglag si point B. So, syempre, ang gagawin yon is yung sa ABC, yung point B, magre-resist, bubuhat, pataas. So, therefore, pwede tayong maglagay dito class ng force na going upward and tawagin natin ito class as, say for example, RB. Okay? And also, since ito ay fixed support, so therefore, we're expecting here three reactions, no? Vertical force, horizontal force, and moment. So, ang papakita ko na lang class yung vertical force and moment since wala namang horizontal load sa beam, so walang horizontal reaction. So for example, something like this. Okay, next. So next thing to understand here is that, remember na itong force na to, so going up po siya considering BD, ngayon matatransfer yan dito sa point B naman considering yung simply supported beam AC. So yun nga lang, ang property kapag tinatransfer ang load from one material to another, so mangyari class same magnitude pero magiging opposite lang yung kanyang direction. So, ibig sabihin, pagdating dito sa B, ng beam AC should be directed downwards, no? So, RB. So, dahil simple support si A and C, so therefore, we will expect their reaction. So, tawagin na lang natin AV and CV. Okay, so napaghiwalay na natin class yung mga beams. Now, let us draw yung kanyang magiging elastic curve, no? So, we are expecting for beam AC, so it will deflect like this. So, considering yung point B kung saan nag-i-interact yung dalawang beams, so we can call this as deflection at B for beam AC. So, dito naman tayo sa next figure. Okay, sa cantilever beam, BD. So, may downward pero may upward force din dito. So, we may expect the elastic curve to be something like this. And then, considering the same point B, so ito naman po yung representation for the deflection at B. Okay, so yung unang dapat alam nyo dito class is, so since we are talking about the same point B, itong B na to ay same lang dito. So, ibig sabihin, whatever is the deflection at B here should be the same as the deflection at B here. So, i-relate lang natin. So, ngayon, ang tanong, how do we compute or calculate the deflection? So, dito na class papasok yung knowledge natin sa theory. Alright, so maraming mga deflection theory. Okay, pero ano po ba yung pwede natin gamitin dito? So, as you can see, the loads are very common, no? Load at midspan, uniformly distributed load, load at the free end. So, for such cases class, no? Para hindi kayo magtagal sa board exam sa pag-solve ng ganitong problem. So, it is very important na meron kayong mga memorized na mga deflection formula. Alright? So, memorize nyo dapat yung mga 4 basic load conditions. So ano yun guys? Okay, recall natin class yung mga kilala nating mga deflection formula. So that is, for a simply supported beam, alright, na low-loadan natin sa gitna, say for example loaded by load P. So again, ito yung ina-assume natin kanyang deflected shape. So usually na tinatanong class, maximum deflection and maximum deflection occurs at the midspan. So remember class, okay, the deflection at the midspan may be calculated as the value of P multiplied by the length of the simple beam cube over 48 EI. Alright? So memoryado na natin dapat yan guys. So what else? So ito cantilever, so dapat may mga memoryado ka ring mga formula no for cantilever beam. So una, cantilever beam na loaded uniformly no by load W. So we can expect na magiging ganito ang kanyang deflected shape. So usual na tinatanong dito is yung deflection sa free end kasi siya yung maximum, siya yung critical. So to calculate that, so remember nyo class, deflection at the free end in a cantilever beam loaded with uniformly distributed load is WL raised to 4 over 8 EI. So ito naman po yung memoryado nating formula. And another thing, so usual din ito class na halos mga ganitong load condition talaga yung lumalabas sa board exam is a cantilever loaded at the free end, no? With a concentrated load P. So almost ganito rin po yung shape niya. So itatanong din, what is the value of the deflection at the free end? So for such case naman, ito naman po ang formula, no? Deflection at the free end would be the PL cube over 3 EI. So kung hindi niyo naman memorize class, no, usually, pero not all the time, sa board exam, usually binibigay naman po yung mga formula na yan, no? You just have to know, okay, kung paano gamitin yung formula sa pag-solve ng given a problem. Okay, so one thing to note here is yung paggamit nito with regards to units. Okay? So punta po tayo dito guys. So usually yung load P, no, naka-kilonewtons po natin siyang given or sinusulat. And then yung length usually naka-meters po tayo. So kung i-cube natin, so cubic meters. Alright? While for the E naman natin class, a modulus of elasticity usually naka-gigapascal pero pag ginagamit na natin, ginagawa natin siyang megapascal. Alright? And then for the centroidal moment of inertia, so we usually write it in millimeters raised to 4. Alright? Remember nyo class, yung MPa is pwede siyang isulat as Newton per millimeter squared. So that the product of the Newton per millimeter squared times millimeters raised to 4 would become Newton millimeter squared. So as you can see, hindi consistent yung unit sa top at sa bottom. So usually, ginagawa natin yan, kino-convert natin yung kilonewton to Newton at yung cubic meters to cubic millimeters. So to convert, yung kilonewton, multiply mo lang ng 1,000, magiging newtons na. At yung cubic meters, multiply mo ng 1,000 cube, magiging cubic millimeters na po siya. Alright? So it means, makakancel yung newtons, imagine that, and then yung cubic millimeters divided by the millimeters squared, matitira ang unit millimeters. So the deflection would be in millimeters if you do this. No? So that would be yung ating unit analysis. Ibig sabihin pala, okay, I want to highlight here is yung 1,000 raised to 4 na multiplier. Alright? So remember that. So also, here, no? Dito naman, kapag uniformly distributed load, W. So usually, naka-kilonewton per meter tayo dito. And then yung, again, yung length in meters. So kung raised to 4, meters raised to 4. So pag kinombine, kilonewton meter cube. So same lang nung kanina, no? So yung kilonewton to convert to newtons times 1,000. Cubic meters para maging millimeters cube times 1,000 cube. So basically, parang may multiplier kayo ulit sa numerator as 1,000 raised to 4 para yung end unit ng deflection would be in millimeters. Alright. Okay, so apply na natin. So may memoryado tayo mga deflection formula. Apply natin dito una sa beam ABC. So therefore, the deflection at B for beam AC may be represented as, so again, that is PL cube over 48 EI. So yung P natin would be represented by RB. Alright? Yung length natin would be represented, of course, by the length of beam AC. So lagay natin, no? Lagay natin ng subscript and then cube and then over 48 and then EI. Remember class, kung anong beam ang pinag-uusapan, doon din kukunin yung mga properties, no? So yung EI should be EI for member AC. Alright? So yun na, may formula na tayo, no, for the deflection at B considering beam AC. So how about naman for the deflection at B considering naman yung beam BD? Alright, sir, ang dami ng load dyan, no? May distributed, tapos may concentrated load pa. So sa mga ganyang instances, so ang pwede naman natin gawin is apply natin ang superposition method. So ano po ba yung sinasabi class ng superposition method? So sabi po ng superposition method is that the total deflection at a certain point on a beam may be calculated as the sum of the deflection on the same point caused by the individual loads acting separately. Or, okay, para mas magets natin siya class, no, lagyan natin ng example. So for example class, no, we have here a simply supported beam. So merong siyang load na P1 here and say for example P2 here, and then we are expecting na ganito yung magiging deflected shape niya, no? And then we consider an arbitrary point, tawagin natin point A, and we are concerned with the value of the deflection at A. So ang sabi po ng superposition method, pwede mo daw makuha yung deflection at A as the sum of the individual deflection at the same point considering individual loads. So ibig sabihin, we have the same beam, applyan muna natin ng P1, so meron siyang maliit na deflection at A dito. So tawagin natin deflection at A sub 1. And also, okay, we have the same beam acted naman by P2, so we may also calculate for another value of deflection at A, tawagin natin deflection at A sub 2. So ibig sabihin, yung total deflection at A is the sum of the deflection at A considering load 1 plus the deflection at A considering load 2. Okay, yun po yung superposition method. So applying it, no, to our beam BD, okay, so considering the combination of the distributed load and the upward concentrated load at the free end, so pwede siya, okay, cantilever beam muna, okay, acted upon by a distributed load, plus a cantilever beam acted upon by a concentrated load at the free end. Alright? Or, we may write deflection at B, total deflection at B, as the sum of the deflection at B considering load 1, plus the deflection at B considering load 2. Alright, ngayon, remember, pag nag-a-add po tayo, so we have to consider direction. Okay, for a reason na yung deflection kasi, pwede siyang mag-deflect downward, pwedeng mag-deflect upward, no? Just like yung scenario po natin dito. So since dito sa previous na ito, no, sa simply supported beam, ang ginawa natin, no, downward load will create a downward deflection and ginamit natin doon positive value. So to be consistent, ganoon na lang din dito class, no? For this beam BD, okay, downward also, okay, is considered positive. All right? Okay. So ayan, therefore the deflection at B for beam BD may be written as, so considering this first figure, again, anong formula dito at the free end? So that is WL raised to 4 over 8EI. So, lagay lang natin, okay, making sure na yung length na gagamitin is yung length ng beam BD at yung EI ay yung EI ng beam BD. Alright? Next, so since upward po dito, so it may be taken as kabawasan sa deflection. So, minus po siya. Okay, and then again, ano yung formula for loaded at the free end? PL cube over 3EI. So, yung P natin would be represented by RB. Alright? So, that should be something like this. So, meron na tayong mga representation ng deflection at B. So, we may now proceed with our calculation. So start tayo again. Sabi dito guys, for letter A, if W is 3 kN per meter, determine the upward force to be applied at point B to prevent deflection at end B of beam BD. So lista muna natin guys yung mga given. So we are given with the magnitude, okay, nung uniformly distributed load. And then binanggit din class na ipe-prevent yung deflection at B. So it means deflection at B should be set to 0. And then do not forget yung initial na given kanina, no, yung flexural rigidity nung beam po natin na 6.4 times 10 raised to 12 Newton millimeter squared. Okay, so ang tanong dito guys, ano yung hinahanap? So i-highlight natin class, upward force to be applied at point B. So ano yung upward force po na iyon? So imaginein muna natin class yung initial na mangyayari pag nag-load tayo ng W. Alright, so for example, ito yung ating beam BD, cantilever beam BD, tapos ito yung simply supported beam AC. So, initially, load-loadan natin ng uniformly distributed load W. So, what will happen here, naturally, syempre, dahil may load yan, so magde-deflect downward yung cantilever beam. Alright? And then, syempre, again, susunod yung simply supported beam. So, something like that. Okay? So, again, at B, ito yung deflection at B. No, nasa nasabi sa problem na to, dapat i-prevent yung deflection. So, how can we prevent this deflection at B nga ba? Okay? So, there are several ways para mawala ng deflection sa B. So, unang way, edi dapat walang load W. Kasi, nagkaroon lang naman ng deflection kasi may pabigat eh. Tama ba? Pero syempre, hindi realistic yun kasi given nga na may magnitude yung W. Okay, what else? So, another thing, para hindi mag-deflect itong B na ito, downward, so dapat, either of the beam dapat rigid. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nade-deform. Kaso hindi na po pwedeng mangyari yun class kasi binigyan na tayo ng flexural rigidity. Kasi pag sinabi mong rigid po siya, dapat infinity yung magnitude ng EI. Okay? May value eh. So, ibig sabihin, naturally, magde-deflect talaga yung beams po natin. So, ano yung pinaka makatotohanang paraan para mapigilan natin yung pag-deflect sa B? So, that is, mag-apply tayo ng pang-counter sa deflection. That is, we apply an upward force. So, tawagin nating P. Okay, doon exactly sa B, itulak natin pataas, no? To prevent yung naging deflection. So, ibig sabihin pala class, for this question letter A, nagkaroon tayo ng additional force P, no? As compared dun sa initial na naging calculation natin kanina and yung mga derived nating formula, no? For the deflection at B. So, remember, ito yung figure natin kanina, no? So, hindi pa present dito si P. So, ngayon, anong magiging difference kung meron ng P na nilagay sa gitna? Okay, so ibig sabihin, for the simply supported na beam, mababago po yung mga forces po natin nagkaroon ng P. Pero dito sa cantilever beam po natin, so dahil hindi naman directly tumama dito yung P, okay, so hindi makikita dito yung P, no? Kasi yung P is only applied doon sa ilalim po ng simply supported beam AC. Okay, so again, ang purpose natin yan is to eliminate yung deflection sa B. So parang in a sense, ito na yung magiging deform shape niya, no? Or yung elastic curve niya. So basically parang dapat maging ganyan siya, no? Horizontal line. And then for cantilever beam BD, so dapat ibalik ng paangat na ganito. So making sure deflection at B is 0. Okay. So, syempre para masolve na natin yung etong P na ito, so dito mo lang naman siya makikita sa simply supported beam. So we have to analyze the simply supported beam, no? However, as you can see, we do not have the value of RB yet, no? So what we can do is isolve muna natin sa RB using yung figure dito sa right. Okay. So again, hanapin muna natin how much RB is required para mawala yung deflection at B. So, dito, pwede natin gamitin yung na-develop nating equation kanina for the deflection at B, which is this. Tapos, we just simply plug in yung mga given, no? So, una, deflection at B is 0. Alright, next, yung W, okay, amounting to 3 kN per meter. Yung length ng beam BD, which is 4 meters. And then, do not forget yung multiplier na 1,000 raised to 4. Alright, for the RB, siya po yung unknown. So, let us say that this is in kilonewtons. And again, length of BD, 4 meters. Alright, so pwede rin natin class ilagay yung EI sa denominator, but pwede kong gawin class, alright, is i-multiply na lang natin both sides with EI. Okay? So para makakancel natin yung EI sa denominator, and on the left hand side, EI times 0 is 0, no? So another thing para ma-simplify pa further, no? So yung 1,000 raised to 4, yan, divide natin both sides with 1,000 raised to 4. So that yung left hand side, ma-divide mo ng 1,000 raised to 4 is still 0. And then yung right hand side, makakancel yung 1,000 raised to 4. So we can simplify this, okay, as 0 is equal to 3 times 4 raised to 4 over 8 minus RB times 4 cube over 3. So basically, we can calculate RB as 4.5 kilonewton. Alright, so again, this is not yet the answer. Ito pa lang po yung interaction, okay, between the simply supported beam and the cantilever beam. So puntahan na natin ito class, no, yung simply supported beam. So, meron na tayong RB here, no? So, ngayon, paano yan, sir? Mag-a-analyze na naman po ba ako? So, medyo hindi naman, no? Kasi mapansin mo, collinear yung RB and P. So, ibig sabihin, pwede nating i-simplify ito into a single force, no? Kumbaga, nag-counter lang naman sila. Iding gawin natin yung P, gawin natin as a deductive force na lang. So, tanggalin natin yung P, tapos palitan natin yung force being applied as RB minus P. So, in a sense, para na naman po siyang simply supported beam loaded at mid-span. So, to calculate the deflection at midspan, no, or deflection at B, so we may again use the formula PL cube over 48 EI. Alright, so yun nga lang, yung P is yung RB minus P ang gagamitin natin. And then again, yung length is length of AC, and then cube over 48, and then EI of AC. Okay, now simply plug in the values. So again, deflection at B is 0. Yung RB, pwede na natin ilagay as 4.5. So yung P is unknown. Length of AC, so do not forget the length of this member is 8. And then again, multiplier of 1,000 raised to 4. So, EI lagay na rin natin. So, 6.4 times 10 raised to 12. Okay, solving for P. So, you may use your calculator and the answer should be 4.5 kilonewton. So, mapansin mo class, no? You can easily see that yung P dito, magiging equal siya sa RB. No? Kasi mapansin mo itong denominator, pwede mo siyang i-cross multiply sa 0. So, magiging 0 lang din. Tapos, itong 8 cube, tapos yung 1,000 raised to 4, pwede mo siyang ibaba dun sa denominator ng left side. So, basically, magiging 0. So, matitira na lang, 0 is equal to RB minus P. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung P pala, equal siya sa RB. No? But that is not always the case. No? So, there are instances na hindi na equal yung force applied dun sa RB, no? That is, lalo na kapag yung deflection ay may value. Dito kasi nag-zero, kaya nag-equal. Pero kapag halimbawa may tinirang konti, no, nag-allow ng konting deflection, so hindi na po siya equal. No? So, coincidence lang na nag-equal yung P sa RB. Alright. Okay, next, letter B. So, tinatanong, determine the load tributary to beam AC at B. So, ang tinatanong lang din dito, class, ano daw yung nakatungtong sa beam AC at point B. So, that is again yung RB. Kung yung parehas na beam AC at BD ay magde-deflect ng 10 mm at B. So, from there, okay, we can say, okay, na ang tinatanong is RB. Ang meron ay deflection at B, 10 mm. And then, do not forget, okay, yung EI na unang binigay na 6.4 times 10 raised to 12. So, RB naman po ang hinahanap. And ang focus dito, class, is yung simple beam. AC. So, ang gamitin naman natin is yung na-derive natin kaninang formula, no? For the deflection at B for beam AC, which is this. So, simply substitute. Ayan, 10 mm. Okay, this is in kilonewtons. This is length of AC. So, magkakamali, no? 8 meters po siya. And then, yung multiplier na 1,000 raised to 4. So, dito kailangan nating isulat yung EI kasi hindi siya makakancel. Alright? So, simply use the given parameters so we can easily calculate for RB as 6 kilonewtons. Alright? No? So, ang solution, ang bilis lang. So, yung nagtagal lang tayo yung pagde-develop ng mga formula. No? Okay, next. Determine yung load W if the deflection at B is 12 mm. So, ano given? So, hinahanap natin yung W, pero ang provided deflection at B na dapat 12 mm. So, again, do not forget yung EI na given. So, W, so gagamitin natin yung na-derive na formula okay, for the cantilever beam BD, which is this. But sir, paano ko isosolve yan? No? Pag pinansin ko na ito, substitute ko yung mga given, wala akong RB. So, paano yan, sir? Walang RB. So, kung walang RB, don't worry because meron kang formulang alternative deflection at B na merong RB. Okay? So, ang gawin muna natin, solve muna natin yung required value of RB here, no? Para mag-deflect ng 12 mm. So, gawin nyo lang, class, substitute lang ulit, okay, just like what we did. So, masasolve natin, class, si RB. So, para pala mag-deflect ng 12 mm, kailangan yung force sa point B should be amounting to 7.2 kilonewtons. Okay, and then after that, ayan, substitute nyo na dun sa mahabang equation. So, W na lang po yung unknown. And there you have it. W would be 7.2 kilonewton per meter. And that should be it. Alright, so that's all for this video, guys. So, for more contents like this, do not forget to like, follow, and subscribe. So, see you on our next video lecture. And God bless us all.